When is a Chaos Space Marine a watermelon? The answer to that question more in this week's What I'm Painting. Welcome to Corner Case. You're in the hobby corner. I'm your host, Deck. This week on What I'm Painting, we've got Infinity, 40k, and a surprise on deck at the end. So, as per Infinity, I painted my Aleph this week. For those of you who aren't into Infinity, Aleph are a faction of, they're an AI that was designed to defend humanity against the aliens. Their aesthetic is kind of like White Vision and like Ayanami Ray, and I think that's just like such a cool aesthetic vision for an AI. You know, also if you kind of consider there's no like real sci-fi story with AI that doesn't just like end badly. You know, something always happens. But that's what Aleph are, and here's what I've painted so far. So this is the first model I started with. This is Yadu Officer Shakti. I'll have the description here in the corner. I just really liked the shapes of this model. It's just so much confidence, and the negative spaces made the pose like really dynamic. I thought because it was kind of like a White Vision, Ayanami Ray, I kind of wanted to feel like this character was a little alien. You know, I didn't want her to feel super relatable, so I thought starting with like a purple in the skin tone would be kind of nice. I'm gonna revisit this paint this week actually and update the face a little bit. I think I can actually get a little bit better, but this was kind of like where I started. So next is this model called the Opsara. And this is kind of a support unit within the faction, but this model is really where I figured out like what I wanted my army to look like. So I had painted the backpack purple at first, but if you look now, you'll see that the backpack is actually chrome. And I started with the purple backpack, but I just kept pushing the reflections until I got to basically a chrome backpack before I knew it. And then I realized, oh man, like having an army that's like white and chrome is just gonna look so hard to paint. And that's what I want. I just want all my armies to look like way too hard. You met my Lamenters in a previous video, and that's kind of an example. I feel like the Lamenters are the like name brand difficult to paint Space Marine chapter. So that's just like my steez. So I just wanted my Aleph to feel difficult to paint. So I started chroming everything once I painted this first backpack. Yeah, but I think this model is so cool, and this was like the turning point in my Aleph painting. Okay, this model. This is Ajax The Great. So within Infinity, they have this thing where they kind of like re-upload personalities. So specifically within Aleph, there's a part of it that's basically historical characters, the faction. So Ajax The Great is Ajax The Great. Here he is. This is the model that made me buy into Aleph, because just so cool, the gigantic chrome hammer. I just knew I needed to paint that. The box art, his hairline is looking a little like, it's looking a little, it's receding a little bit. So I lined him up instead. I like to think that my Ajax is looking a little more like Drake maybe, I don't know. But I plan on finishing this up soon. The hammer isn't completely done yet. And as you can see, like on all of these Aleph models, I haven't committed to what to do on the base. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do with the bases, because you know, when you're playing like fantasy games or even like 40k, you can kind of get away with these like earthy, terrainy bases. But for this Aleph like AI super future sci-fi faction, you kind of want like to take advantage of the fact that you're now in maybe like a sci-fi urban or like space environment. So I've never had to do that before. What do you guys think are like a good example of that? And that'll help me push this project over the edge. As per 40k, this week I painted my Chaos Space Marines. So as you can see, I have this like really loud colorway. This is my Maulerfiend. I bought this Maulerfiend like probably almost 3 years ago, and I only finally started painting it like a year ago. And even then, I think I painted like the arm red, and then I just left it until this week when I finally figured out like what to do with it. So I had this idea for painting a color scheme that was, again, just looks way too hard to paint or is like super way too loud. And so I picked this kind of like acid green colorway, and a lot of unexpected things happened actually. So, you know, you already know that black doesn't take advantage of the full value range. You know, you're basically only getting half a value range when you paint black. And I think that ended up happening as well on this acid green color. You can see here on the Obliterator that I painted and on the what is it called? The Venom Crawler. Especially in the spikes in the Venom Crawler, where that green is just so vibrant and so like lava, like hot and glowing that like any value range you try to put on it just isn't happening. I tried edge highlighting with pure white and you almost don't even see it on the Maulerfiend. So I'm really excited about this. I'm bringing this to Crusade with me. And this is the squad right now. So this is what the whole squad is looking like. And I'm going to add more cultists. I'm going to add a Disco Lord, and a Terminator squad is coming up. So I'm really excited for this army. It had been on the shelf in gray for way too long, and I think Crusade finally pushed me over the edge into painting it, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm excited to show you guys more. The last thing I want to share with you guys is this surprise, and this is the Arcane Emissary model from Malifaux. I think I painted this the first time ever in 2017, and back then, this was the best model I had ever painted. I was so proud of myself. When I look at it now, it kind of just looks like unfinished. But that's something that I kind of want to start bringing to the table is these models don't just become finished products when you're done painting them the first time. If you want to paint them again, you can repaint them. And that's what I plan to do. I'm a much better painter now than I was in 2017, and I'm actually really, really excited to take enjoyment out of painting this model again. I've heard some old cats like talking about plastic models, like the way they would talk about the metal models, like, oh, I don't want to clog the detail. But like the plastic models, if your paint was reasonably thin in the first place, like you ain't got to baby them like that. Like you can repaint this model and you can get enjoyment from it again. So with Malifaux 3rd edition, there's some new rules for the Emissary. I'm super excited to try it out. I just got owned by it the other week when I played against my friends. So I'm going to paint this guy up so he looks super, super threatening with my new updated 2021 skills. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. You can always repaint your models. You know, you don't always have to buy new models when you just want to enjoy painting again. So that was this week's What I'm Painting. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my 80%, sometimes 30% painted models and going through my thought process there. But it helps me stay accountable by sharing with you guys. And, you know, I do the painting for my own entertainment. I hope that you guys are entertained as well. Again, thank you so much for swinging by. Please, 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 please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you can. And as always, I'll see you around.